Hi guys. Okay, so with Bitcoin sitting at 111 again, we ask ourselves a big question. Can we add to our longs, our swing longs of the zone, or is it doomsday? Is it over? Are we going to go lower? Okay, so big questions for today. Let's get into the charts. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comment section. We can have a look at them at the end of the stream. If you're new to the channel, say hi, and as always, hit the like, hit the subscribe, share the love, guys. Okay, so here we've got Bitcoin for us for today. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly do a litmus test. We're just going to quickly have a look at where we are on the larger time frames, just to make sure that there's no sentiment confusion for your HODL bags. So where we're at right now, this is the fractal I'm using, and it's very accurate. And what it basically boils down to is strong bearish divergence that we had in the previous all-time high. We've got strong bearish divergence right now at all-time highs. Okay, we had an RSI retracing on the lows. Okay, we have an RSI retracing on the lows. So typically that's a bullish sign, retracing on the lows. So we're bullish. Okay, but just like then, if you lose the pivotal support that generates the divergence, shit gets bad. And where we're at right now, we're above that support, albeit price action is bearish. So that's okay. It's okay. But we cannot lose 104 thereabouts, because then things will get hairy. There's gaps at 87. There's gaps at 71. And there's the targets are infinite again if we want to try and speculate on where the lows could be. For us, the way we move forward is we don't try and doomsday everything. We try and be optimistic, play with the momentum until the momentum runs out. When we look at the amount of gains here versus there and the divergence, there was clearly a hell of a lot of momentum. If we look at the amount of gains again, it's almost similar to that. So momentum is slowing, but it's not weak yet. There we had very weak momentum. Between that, we've got a very shallow higher high with an insane divergence. Here we've got a substantial higher high with insane divergence, which is more a bullish signal than that. So as long as we bounce on these highs, that's it. Now, if Bitcoin goes and makes a new higher high at 130 and gives us more divergence, that would be bad, because then we've got a substantial weak high and things might reverse. So that is your litmus test. That's everything for us for the planning of the rest of the year, the rest of the quarter, what could potentially play out with our altcoin bags. That being said, it does mean that there's room for price to still go down and things will still be bullish, which means your alts could suffer a little bit more pressure. You have to have within your risk portfolio enough bandwidth to absorb this kind of retrace should it happen, because it will be violent, it will be a flush, it will happen fast, it will scare you. And only, remember, for the pursuit to find out where the high is going to be, you're always going to have to give back a little bit at the top. And only once that is lost, that's when you need to make a really aggressive decision on whether you need to exit or what you need to do to rebalance the risk on your portfolio. Okay. Goeiemorgen, Kilian. Hello, Jerry. PJ02. Where's PJ01? Hello, buddy. Nice to have you. Stanko is here as always. Guys, content's brought to you through by Blofin. All you need to do is support the content that backs your trades. Open your Blofin account using my partner link. Trade there, and I will reward you with additional Blofin benefits like the buddy indicator. So yesterday we were trading live with the buddy indicator, and we were looking at some interesting calls. So we had AVNT short that printed quite nicely during the night. So I'm just going to go to the 8-minute. There is where we had our short. This is now so far back. Let's do it here. Let's do it here. Let's do it at the chart where I charted it. That would work better than to try and reproduce what I did yesterday. So there was the AVNT short. We played out nicely. We had a really nice long as well. that played out on, I can't remember what was the long. I don't have my, I think it was ASTER. No, it wasn't ASTER. I didn't take any longs on ASTER yesterday. But in any case, the buddy keeps on printing setups as always, guys. If you understand trading, you understand the structure, strong bearish divergence, enter between the purple lines, TP1, TP2, TP3. And that you get if you support the content and get your Blofin account. It's as simple as that. Links to everything is in the video description. All you need to do is go to the Discord to claim your access. Everything is neatly explained in the navigation channel. There you go. Okay, back to charts then. Let's get some TA done. Let's see. There's a question. Oh, more people asking for pulse. Okay, so we can have a look at that as well. Any others, guys? Drop them in. It's about 100 people joining in live. I'm streaming to 3 destinations. Yeah, make sure to drop your comments. Let me know. And preferably drop it on YouTube, even if you're watching somewhere else, because then I can see your comments. It doesn't appear if it's Twitter. For some reason, I don't know why. Okay. Now, let's get back to Bitcoin real quick. BTC. So I've laid out your HODL backs. In the big picture, you know where we're at. Okay. This means if we now look at our trade for a living, our swing long that we're trying to do. This was the previous setup. So we went long there at 108,500. Okay. And we rejected. We went short there. I myself have to admit I didn't exploit this aggressive enough. Was short scalping in here as well. And where we're at right now, we're in the buy zone. So anything between 112 all the way down to 109 is the swing buy zone. Now you might say, Rudo, this is an exceptionally big entry zone. Yes, it is, but it is because we are considering an exceptionally big price action. Bitcoin sitting from 106 all the way to 117. That's $11,000 worth of price action, and we're sitting in that range. So if you want to narrow it down, use the buddy indicator to hunt for longs within this buy zone. That's what it is designed to do and how it's designed to help you. Okay. Now, if we look at our Elliott wave count, personally, I think where we're at right now is we're in the makings of a 4. Now, because this is now where it's tricky for me, because this is the entire move. I've counted this as a wave 1. It could be that we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then have a little bit of more time. This 4 is not in yet. So we can chop around where we're at before the 4 finishes. And that then will finalize this. And we could also still go and create a larger time frame 3 so that we can move into what would be our next green wave 5. So as this is chopping, remember that 5 is going to be lower. That 3 is going to be lower. It needs to be lower than that. So there could be a scenario where this complex pattern needs to play out first before we get the ultimate 4, before we can move on our larger time frame. Okay. And that being said, it means that where we're at right now, we could go and do this, hit the 120 mark, come back, test again to finalize this, and then we're only going to leave range for longer term higher targets. Okay. Okay, so we have time. You have time, but you have to act. You have to act now. You're going to have some skin in the game, guys. So make sure to go and measure the risk and consider the area where we're at right now as a really good zone for you to do so. Okay, let's do that. Okay, what else? If you want to say that it is over and we are going to go down and shit's going to be bad. I know everybody is mostly, when you own spot, you want to see things go up. You don't want to hear about things going down. But that's why trading is there, because trading means that if we start going into a bear market, if things are bad and we're going to keep on dumping, your alt's going to go up to 0, you can still make money off it by shorting the market, okay? And you can use Blofin as a really good exchange to use the future side of it to take the other side of the market, okay? Do it responsibly. But there's those tools are there, and that zone for me at this stage is sitting at 114 for the probable first area. So if we go to 114 and we do reject, we're probably going to go make a lower low again, which means that this 4 isn't in yet. Okay. The fact that we do have strong bullish divergence at this stage is good, but the problem that I have with where we're at right now, although I'm going to take the long, is that there is strong bullish divergence. There, you can see it. There's now a lot of stuff on the screen. I'll do this to just take the clutter away a little bit and then make it bigger and take away the RSI, because you're just going to have to bear with me. I don't want to take a little bit of the noise. Maybe this I can hide. Let's do that. Let's hide that for now. Okay. So there's your strong bullish divergence. And the key to this is that we have to stay above the originating pivot. And in order to do so, this is our thou shall not cross line right there. And where that is living at the moment, now I've got this tweet that is basically just screwing it up. Okay, there we go. Maybe let's just hide that as well for now, and hide the other one for now. Okay, so that is where our resistance is living at the moment. So let me just color this thing correctly. Remove. I hate it when TradingView and me starts to struggle. It seems like I don't know how to use this thing. So that's resistance at the moment. Okay, let's switch on the candles. Resistance lives at 112,400. Okay, and we can still go and reject there, make a lower low, create another divergence, and a more obtainable pivotal support, which then can go taken out with a higher high, come and test it, and move on. And that is the other side. There's always, there's always bears and bulls. There's always that. And the RSI is pointing to that as a possibility. So although the divergence is there, a lower low would almost lock in more divergence, gives us another opportunity. But what it does is it brings this down to there, which makes it bullish quicker. Okay. And that's what we want to try and hope for. The only hope is that it happens in a way that we can capitalize on it. So meaning chop up to there, go make the lower low, give me the divergence, and then we go. Okay, that's the hopium. I don't know whether it's going to move that way, but now you have both sides of it. You know how to look at it and what to expect. Okay, now all this turmoil, all this crazy, let's quickly have a look at your requests, and we're going to end off the stream. It's going to be a short one today, but make sure to hit the like, hit the subscribe, share the content, guys. It does wonders for the algorithm. I know we don't think so, but it really does. Okay, so the first one is we're going to have a look at pulse. So I charted a couple of pulse charts a while ago, and let me just go to my list. There it is, and there is pulse. I'm going to take this thing to the weekly time frame for you because it's an investment buy. It's not a trading coin for me. Okay. So if you look at this thing from an investment point of view, what do we have? Okay. We've got these crazy low liquidity spikes that traps a hell of a lot of people. And in that run, things go up 5x. 2x, 3x, okay? And it traps a lot of liquidity. So typically, the way that we then look at this is we then go and scale our time frames through and say, okay, right, if that liquidity is trapped, there's going to be wicks there, areas where money is waiting to get recycled, okay? So those will all be signs of areas where in the future, price will go and test that at the 50% line, cementing in resistance. Now, this is the part of TA that we all hate, or you should. Because if you go back in time and you look at this now, it makes so nice in logical sense. I draw this out, look at these 50%. I should have just shorted that. This is I don't know whether there's a trading pair for this where you have the ability to short it. But that being said, there's still selling pressure around these levels. Okay. This means that when we do go, and I'm going to scale this back to the weekly, when we do go and break through critical resistance levels, price will not hang around here for long due to the nature of the selling pressure. Everything that needed to happen there happened. So you will chop around, jump this, chop around, jump this, chop around going forward. So now you already know where price is going to move and where price is going to stall out a little bit. The same then obviously happens for the bullish side of things. So at these bottoms, you're going to have demand zones being created and tested. And what boasts well for this one at this stage is that it does hold on to its demand zones. So there's a little one there. There's a little one there. Well, it's taken out there. So let's do that. There's one there. Okay. And it got tested there. So these are demand zones. And this will function in a similar way as these supply zones. So the market will go and test that at some stage to try and push on higher. And this means if you want to draw a trend line, use these demand zones to identify where price is going to bounce. It will give you a more accurate idea. Now, if I use this, I put my trend line in there and I move that onto these lows, you can see now there's confluence around these levels, okay? Around these highs, I'm looking at that level there, okay? Around these highs, okay? There's your axis, okay? And then again at these highs, I'm looking there, okay? Selling pressure, I'm looking there. Selling pressure, not as pretty as it would be. Let's maybe just use this level there. There's some confluence there. Okay. Now, back to the candles. So what do you want to do? You want to be bullish at these levels. You want to be bearish at these levels because they supply. You don't know whether the next push up or the one after that or 20 more before that breakout happens. So you have to be bullish now because you also don't know whether this is the one that doesn't come back. Okay. And you have to now understand that when you get there, take profit, which means if you grab it where it's at right now, you can double your money, sell half and let the rest ride free pulse. Not a bad deal. Now, let's have a look at support and resistance levels. So I'm going to bring in the RSI again. And I'm going to say, what do we have? Where is the market changing its mind? So if you look at these critical areas, there is a strong support level because we sold off, the market changed its mind, moved in the opposite direction. There's another support level sitting right there. Subsequently, it's in the same area. There's a support level sitting right there around these ranges. And here we've got an RSI going below that. So we've got almost like a weak divergence forming, okay? And or double bottom kind of thing. Let's not call it a divergence. It's a double bottom. So what do you want to do? You don't want to hold this thing if we fall below these support levels, because then you start opening the door for price to go there and then there, and then it could turn into a Tau or something, a Tia, a Celestia or something like that. That's bad. So you've got a clear line defined, because if you lose the support levels, it's bad. Okay? Now, if it wicks through, you can't just go put your stop on that line. If it wicks through, that's fine. You're looking at weekly closes. By the end of a week, if it opened and closed below that, your hope is just not that it will sit there, but if it opens and closes a candle below this, that's when you know it's over. And that's it. Now, for me, it's a bearish coin more than it is a bullish coin. Looking at it from this perspective, you are stepping up levels. We lost that one. And for that reason, that's a high, that's a lower low, that's a lower high. That's the problem. So will I go and put my money in there? No, I won't do that just yet. I will wait for this thing to give me a better signal. So either go make a higher high, take out one of these guys, support levels, bounce there. I'll rather buy it there for that than to try and buy here for this. That can go to zero almost before that happens. So I hope I've done you a solid by giving you a nice in-depth way to look at Pulse. Okay. Other than that, I mean, nobody knows the future, buddy. I wish I could say it will. I sacrificed. I've got the coins. I haven't touched them from the sacrifice up to now. I haven't done anything with them. So it's in my best interest that this thing goes up as well. But the chart suggests that I need to be patient still. Okay. Let's see. Please have a look at GALA. Okay, let's quickly do GALA. I don't mind doing that. I know where that one is, hiding somewhere here. I need to. I just saw it. I just saw it. Or was it my mind telling me that you saw it? There. I did see it. I did see it. Okay, there's GALA. Now, GALA as a case is the same thing. Here's an example now of what you need to think about, the risks that can happen with Pulse. Okay. So Pulse could be there now. And all of this could still happen. And it's this that I'm worried about. Because as far as pattern trading goes, pattern trading is just a fractal scenario. If there's a triangle, you favor the direction of the market leading into the triangle, because 65% of them, and the number might vary here and there, but give or take, educated guess, based on stats, but give or take, there's different kinds of triangle patterns. 65% of the time they will play out in favor of the trend that created them. So if you look at where GALA is right now, what do we have? We've got a triangle pattern forming. So it's trying to figure out what it wants to do. It's trying to conclude something. Is it a perfect one? No, because we don't have that closing yet. Could it be something like this? Definitely. But in both instances, the argument is that you're going to be using this as downside, not upside. Okay. If I were to invert this, what am I going to say? Look at all this resistance. As soon as we break through that, we're going to the moon. So now this is the same for your bargain basement deals. Look at all the support. If we break through that, we're going to go on sale aggressively. People won't stomach any more drawdown. And that's the problem that I have with GALA. So although there is upside targets, I mean, everybody can sell themselves on the hopium that it's going to go there and it's trending down at the moment. Okay. And until it changes that, treat it as that. If there's a high, there's a low. A low and there's a high. Okay. Then what did we do? We came back down. We made a lower high. What did we do then? We made a lower low. Established a bearish trend. So even if we do go up, this is now going to be met with some serious resistance and selling pressure. Because if we get so lucky to break out, say it does that, the trend suggests that we're still going to go make a lower low. Okay. And yeah, maybe by the time we get there, we blow through, we make higher stuff. But I mean, we don't know what the future is going to hold, guys. It's not financial advice. We're just trying to play the odds. And those would be the significant levels. So now we do the same thing. We now want to try and look at where support and resistance lives. For the benefit of that triangle, I'm just going to switch to a daily time frame, just to get a little bit more better idea of what is cooking there. So I'm going to look at these areas. This is where the market changed its mind. So that would be support. Okay, this is where the market changed its mind. That would be resistance. The same argument lies that there's a hell of a lot of supply living here and a hell of a lot of supply living there. So should we get to this area, this would be your breakout range. You want to break through this area and start chopping around that range again. So this needs to be fast for it to be a breakout. So guys, typically it does this, then they say it's breaking out and then it falls down. It's just more supply being tested. You need to sweep this in order for that to happen. Now, the fact that it's at a shallow angle does pose well for if that eventuality does happen. But yeah, I'm just giving you a hypothetical for if that scenario sits. So where we're at right now, with the way price is moving, we now need to look at our demand zones. So there's a demand, it got tested. There's a demand, it is being tested. The scary thing about candles like this is the measured move teaches us. If you have something like this, I'm just going to use the brush. Oops, okay. And you create that little stall doji. Typically, that is what is waiting for you. That's the measured move, because this is part of a ABC correction. A, B, C. Both legs would be the exact same length. Okay, so now you have that. We've got a good idea what it's cooking there. So GALA for me is don't touch. There's your hopium line. Stay above it. You're positive. If not, it's price discovery to the downside almost again. And then you need to have a look at that. All right, let's see what else we have. What do you think about the weekly RSI 45 level, which acted as a solid support of this bull cycle? Look, I explained in the beginning, for Bitcoin, I am bullish on the larger time frames because it hasn't invalidated anything for me yet. Okay, so let's just switch this back to the weekly. There's nothing bearish here, guys. I mean, as long as this RSI, this is your bullish band, okay? This is your top, this is your bearish band, and this is your bottom. Let me just make this bigger, okay? And this is your bottom. And when we try and look for bottoms, you'll see the price have gone into that extreme and created strong bullish divergence, which means now price is lower, but the RSI is higher. That's a bottom. When you're looking for tops, it's going to be exact same thing. Price went into that area. Now the price is higher, but the RSI is lower. And we did it there, and we can rewind this. So the fact that we're at that 47 level on the weekly, as you're talking about 45 level on the weekly, that is fine. We can flip around these levels, and that would be support level. You're 100% correct. That will be support level. But in the pursuit of this, what have we done? We created a pivot there, and that has now support for us. And what do we have with that to support that? Is we've got the divergence pivots as well, acting in as support there and there. Okay, so now we have that as support. So this becomes a juicy buy zone. So if it does want to go and shake your resolve for a bull market, go and flirt with 105. You know, people are going to scare, and that could be a really good buy zone. And given where we're at right now, that would be all hidden bullish divergence. We can't fall below that though, then hidden bullish divergence gets deleted. Okay, so cost to invalidation is quite cheap then at that stage. Make sense? Let me know in your comments. Right. I see the comments are moving. That's good. That's good. It's good. Will Crow drop 8% more? I don't know, my friend. Let's go weekly time frame and just speculate on that. Okay. Oh, this is definitely not the right one. I'll use Coinbase. Best place to do it. Okay. Will it drop 8% more? That's a really tricky question. Are you in a leveraged position that's going to get liquidated? Because that would be a bad place to be on this, because it functions a lot like the XRP of those days. If you think about it again, low liquidity spikes. If it's fast, it won't last. If it's slow, let it grow. And because it was fast, it won't last. And for me, will it drop 8% more? I would say it's going to drop 50% more. Go and test these range lows at minimum to find out whether there's more. Now, yes, tomorrow some bullish catalyst might enter the market and change the landscape. Yes, these things do impact the way we feel about it. Crypto EMCs, channel name, emotional market cycles. That's the foundation of how I trade, how I look at everything. And this is true. Okay? But a chart like that now is going to turn complacency. Let me just hold, it will be okay, into anxiety. Okay? You can't drop any lower, into denial. And then obviously panic capitulation. I'm getting out, or I'm getting liquidated. And then anger, and then the move is over. So what I would say is, just don't put yourself in a compromising position by holding if you're in drawdown, because what will happen is you're going to make a compromised decision later on because of that. We act from a point of strength. If you're in profit, say you got a good entry and you're just trying to maximize more, I would rather say this is a strong take profit move as opposed to something else, and walk away as a winner, because you will find support needs to get created for the next base to push off from. Okay. ASTER, I see ASTER here being a really good example of just that. Now, you can't look at ASTER on the weekly because it hasn't got a lot of weekly candles, but let's quickly go and have a look at ASTER, the big it coin for currently. Okay, so a bit of a background. Dex's CZ's comments on this the other days. I want to invest in things that can destroy Binance, destroy centralized exchanges. Makes for a compelling narrative to get in on this. Now, the move was really good. I mean, ASTER, I don't know what prices. I didn't research the IDO prices or, what the seed investors got and. But from where it's at right now, I mean, exchange-wise, you're still up 70% if you bought to the ultimate bottom. So everybody, close to everybody, should be in some good profit, or in some profit, that is. Now, 4-hour time frame still for ASTER it's too small, which means I'm going to just maybe move this 4-hour time frame to a 30-minute time frame. And this is now a disclaimer again, guys. It takes 1 or 2 or 3 30-minute candles to either validate a theory or invalidate something. You cannot use a 30-minute analysis to lay the groundworks for what's going to come into the future 2 weeks, 2 months from now. It doesn't work that way. You stick to the time frames appropriate for that kind of analysis. So that's it. So 30 minutes at best, what I can say is it's a bearish coin. Why? We've now gone and we've now lost critical support right there. And what have we done? We've had an insane push. So this would probably be a wave 1. Maybe this is a wave 3, 4, and that's a 5. And now we're sitting in a situation where this is an A, a B, a C. That would be your A. Then there will be a 1, 2, 3. Maybe go to the scene of the crime. That's your B. And then there will be a 5 wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. Coins that did that didn't look bearish or didn't feel bearish at the moment. We've got many examples. I'm just going to drop a few quick ones that come to my mind that will fit that narrative quite nicely. First being SUI. Let's have a look at SUI. SUI was the it coin. I mean, this thing made even more money than for people at that stage. Okay, so let's get back to the beginning where it all started. I'm probably going to do a quick trick. Go to a larger time frame. Zoom in, get yourself where you want to be. Okay. Hit the replay button. Take it to where you want. Then switch to the 30-minute. And you will find that Trading View will populate the 30-minute candles from that time backwards. So even if I wanted to look at 1-minute candles here, I will be able to do just that. Okay, so nice way to do just that. So now let's do this. I'm going to go here. So what we had was our initial launch. Oh, I should have replayed a little bit further back. Okay, there we are. Almost there, almost there, almost there. There we go. Initial launch. Now you have a pump. Okay, this one may be a little bit different in that regard, but you had a pump and now you had support get created. So I'm just going to go 4-hour time frame. And maybe it's a bad coin for the example, but this is what I wanted to show you. Let me just go to 4-hour. Let's get to the point. Otherwise, it's going to take too long. 4-hour time frame. I'm going to just get it to the daily because that will also work just to sell you any idea. There. Okay. So what's going to happen is maybe this, obviously not what we've experienced. You here But what the market will do is we'll go test some sort of support level at some stage before it presses on. And the divergence and everything, if you look at the way this RSI was moving, and then broke through, all of this is remnants of what is happening on the 30-minute with ASTER. ASTER being at this stage there, okay, somewhere in that situation. And all I'm saying is it's going to try and hit some sort of a support level before it moves on. And that little fractal that I'm showing you here could be, yet again, something that fits into a larger narrative. Okay, being this is what's probably going to happen for SUI before it runs. That fits into even larger narrative that turns this into what happened with Solana. I mean, Solana did that. It all looks like a little flat line, and then it went to $200. So for SUI, that's the play, you know, just a fractal idea. And that's just what I want to, the seed I want to plant with you. Now, these coins, anything that launches, that gets a little bit of a initial hype, does really well, like this one. Let's go back to the 30 minutes. There will be, okay, there will be a cool down phase where the late buyers get hurt, and then the market will move. Okay, and that's all that I can really add to you for ASTER Scalper. I don't really have anything more than that. Statistically, that's what I think. Now, here's an example. Hype is an example of statistically, Rudo, your ass. It's not going to play that way. You know, that's basically what Hype said. Because what has it done? It broke out and it just kept on going. But the difference with this one is you had a launch wick. And typically, price will go and capture liquidity there. This one doesn't have a launch wick. So from a chart-wise, I don't have much more to say. That's it. Right. What else do we have? Let's see. Where is these cells coming from? I don't know. I don't know where the cells are coming from, my friend. I don't know where you were talking about that, though. So sorry, I might have missed the context at that stage. USDT looks very bullish on the daily, inverted head and shoulders, falling, pizza breakout retest already done. I was looking at these charts. Let me do this. Go to this one. And you can argue that, let's do this. You can argue that this is bullish, or you can argue that it's bearish. Why? Because it's range bound. And the thing that I have was what led to the range. Was it an upwards move or a downwards move? Because this was an upwards move that led to a range that broke trend. So now we've got a downwards move that's going to need to lead to a range that breaks trend before we can really say that. So if this is the case where we're at right now, and it does want to sell down, great. Because if the tether dominance goes down, it means the desire for stable goes down. But it could also be a bad thing, because if tether goes down, the desire for leverage goes down. So it's sometimes much harder to kind of relate this into what the trend will be. Remember the money supply guys? You know, guys that will pop up and say, you need to look at the M2 money supply. This is what's going to happen to Bitcoin. You know, they're all quiet now. What happened there? The correlation sold them on the idea that stayed there up until what? The idea left or stopped working. So let's get this back where we're at right now. I'll go to the weekly time frame. There we go. And that's why the global money supply now, this is not the right chart. I need to get the right one. Sorry, guys, I don't have it right now. But that's the reality with that. So just be careful. Just be careful with this because it's nice confluential factor stuff. It's the same as using the Dixie. You know, the Dixie being bearish right now is really good, but it could also result into a bounce, and that's really bad, you know. So yeah, that's my comments on that. Okay, Let's see what else we have in the comments here. You're right. 100, 105 is a buy zone. 5.5 of the previous swing to yes. 0.5 of the 50% of the move. So this is a Gantt stat that basically says any move on the weekly time frame, if you look at the wave, you would typically retrace 50%. Okay, so from there to there, that's roughly 50%. So that does play. Jerry, you need to rewind, my friend, or the comment is still delayed because I did do GALA for you in great depth. That's about everything. 40 minutes video. It's been hard. Momo, please, please, please. Okay, so we can do one more coin. Let's do Momo. Is Momo a meme coin there, Stanku? Because it does sound meme-ish. Let's quickly go through the memes, see if I have it there. No, I don't have it there. Momo, it is a meme coin. Okay. Ooh, why would you? Okay, looking at this, look, there's nothing at the moment for me that would entice me. I would rather just say, wait for this thing to do this. It will climb up and it will go. Good example of why would you think about Trump coin? Think about Melania coin. They all made sense at some stage. I don't know how strong I mean, Gummy basically is almost zero, delisted. I know how strong it is. I know you used to love meme. There's meme. So it launched and it's just gone. So meme coins it's really tough to know whether this one is going to be the one. Okay. I can lay you on to something to maybe have a look at. Stray Dog. I know at this stage, cryptos are us. They punting this one really hard. So go and have a look at Stray Dog. There might be something for you there. Toshi, I think it's a Bitcoin meme. Still holding trend. Shared this with you guys way back. Rather look at those. Then there's the strong memes, the ones that they say it's got money, legs to go, and has got a real bulletproof community. Pengu being one of those. But if you look at this chart from a weekly point of view, you can see that the memes are due for some punishment. It was too easy for these guys. They get due some punishment. So that's going to happen. And maybe it's all because Pump is stealing everybody's thunder. It could be that, Pump is like an NFT rolled into a meme and giving you video, and with some video entertainment. And even that is taking a little bit of a punishment. And these coins, people are there for a good time, not a long time. So as soon as the mood changes, they jump ship. And that should be a warning sign when it comes to this. Where if you buy something with utility, I was looking at NAKA just the other day. Grant Cardone on a call, he was saying that he was looking at NAKA at some stage. But this is a utilitarian coin. If there's utility, there's something there might be something. I'm looking at around 18 cents. Might not, need to read up on it a little bit more, but that is there. Okay, and then there's the new listers or the crazy ones out there. Go and have a look at this. AVNT, everybody is raving about AVNT as well. I mean, the thing went up like 5,000%, okay, in the last 2 weeks, AVNT. At this stage, yesterday I was shorting this thing. Gave me a good short, stop at break even, went to bed, and then woke up and saw the price. I was thinking, I've got money. And then go to the exchange, run to my computer, and then, no, I didn't make money. The bugger just decided to take me out. Trading can be harsh, guys. So where you're at right now, this is a consolidation. Okay, it's not a termination. It's not saying that it's not going to go on higher. It's not saying it's going to go on lower, but it does have momentum as well. If you now compare this to, say, ASTER, where we're looking at right now, let's quickly go back there. If you look at the same picture, ASTER needs to put in a floor before I can even say it's consolidating. It's just reversing at the moment. So, it's a tough one to call if I have to be honest with you guys. Where would I put my money right now? I won't go there. I won't go here. I would rather go there because I've got structure. I've got an area where I can draw the line and say no more if the losses decide to come. Where with the other ones, you know, when you're in something like this, it's really tricky unless you now jump into real smaller time frames. But I think the good buy will come for this one. The one where you can buy, sit, lock it in, and let this thing run and rip through the levels and create eye-watering gains for you. Okay. Let's see what else. Let's see what else. I want to put you on to this one as well, guys. Have a look at this Destron network. It's still early days. Don't buy right now. Put it on your radar. Why do I say this? Look at that little wick there, okay? With the potential of a nice alt season, a little bit of crazy is going to come our way. Destron network could be the one that gives you a really good money maker. Now, it doesn't mean that we need to get this thing to sell off a little bit more, find some sort of a floor. I don't know where, when and where, but from that point onwards, I want to double my money and then see where this thing could go. Okay. And another one that I'm looking at is SAROS. Not a buy right now. Just look at that little scan, that launch wick there. Just give it some time. It's going to come your way. Get it on your lists. And TAOBOT. Okay. TAOBOT was doing really good. Bouncing. It's AI, you know, so give it some time. The narrative is hot. Around these levels, 17, there might be something cooking in there. So I'm keeping an eye on these coins just to keep you up to speed. And then MYX. I mean, this is a file coinish coin. I don't want to long this. I want to short this, because if you don't own it, you know that that's gonna hurt them sometimes. I don't know when. So let this thing finish its play. I want to try and short this thing all the way down. Okay. That's everything from me, guys. You have a lovely day. Thanks for tuning in. Do the solids, hit the like, hit the subscribes, do the retweet, share the video with friends, and I'll be back tomorrow with some more charts for you guys. If you want to continue the trading, you want to join me, head over to the Discord, links in the video description. We will be live trading a little bit later on today. I will make the announcement there. Share my charts. We take a few trades. We have a little bit of fun. Why not? Okay. Cheers, guys.